We are assembled here today for the meeting of the Star Valley Ranch Water Utility Board. It is Tuesday, January 20th, 4:30 p.m. And establish a quorum of regular members. My name is Steve Crandall, the chairman. Lee Hansen is with us via Zoom. Frank Young will not be with us until perhaps later. Boyd Sidaway, member, is here. Daniel Stewart, a member, is here. We have a quorum established. Our advisor, Dave Roberts, is also here. Our town council liaison is Mayor Rock. She is here. We also have Jamie Hurd helping us with the computers. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I would like to make a statement, then I will make a motion.
Okay.
After reading the minutes and the information that was given to us, I thought that we should reject approving them until they're correct.
Well, let us approve the agenda first.
Oh, excuse me.
Let's do
I'm
that
sorry, I
first.
thought you said the minutes, I'm sorry.
So,
Motion to approve. Second.
second, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. Okay, now to the minutes of the meeting on December 16th. You have a comment, Boyd?
Yes. I've done some research on approving minutes. What we're approving is the minutes as they were recorded for the meeting. We're not approving them to be correct or not. We're just correct in their content. We're saying that what was written down on the minutes for the minutes of that meeting are correct. Does that make sense? Therefore, I believe there are errors in the minutes in the data that we received. So I would like to approve the minutes, but I'd also like to approve the minutes with a little bit longer motion than normal. Because if we approve those minutes and somebody reads them, they're going to think that they're correct. So I want to put a motion together to see if you like it or not, that actually says we approve them because the minutes are correct the way they were, the way the meeting was held, and the information was given to us. But that we acknowledge that there may be discrepancies or errors in the data, and therefore that information should be corrected in the minutes of this meeting. So that's my introduction, just so you know why I'm going through all this stuff.
So is there a particular area of the minutes that you want to?
There were two main areas, and one was the information on the flow meters, that they were installed. They weren't working because they didn't have the right parts. And we have information since then that says that the meters are not installed, and the missing parts had nothing to do with the flow meters. It had to do with the SCADA system instrumentation. Those, the SCADA information and the flow meters were the two of the bigger ones that I saw in there.
Okay.
So I just think that it's important that the public, if they read our minutes, and there's got to be one or two people who are going to read it. So let's make sure they understand what we're approving. That's all I'm asking for.
Okay, if I put in the minutes under those.
There was one other area. Councilman Ellis stated that our chlorination level is at 0.2. I don't know what the units are for that. Generally, I think we were at 2 parts per million, not 0.2, which would be 1/10 of that. And I was also understanding that the level of chlorine was going to have to be increased per the EPA up to 4 perhaps because of our level 2 non-compliance. So I'd like to understand and fix that as well. It shouldn't be 0.2 unless we know what the units are associated with that. And there was other information around perhaps the iWork system, where it was recorded in the November, December town newsletter that beginning in November, the town employees will implement new software integrated with our iWork system. This upgrade will help us manage work orders, citizen concerns, and inventory more efficiently. We are excited to put this new system into practice to improve our operations and service to our residents. That's a quote from the town administrator section. So that information was not passed on to us in the meeting as well, which we're operating under the understanding that the iWork system has been around for 2-3 years with the town, but there's this new section that has been put into service, and perhaps it'll avoid the water utility board from getting too involved in creating processes and whatnot for the town employees.
Can I make a comment about minutes?
Please.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is my take on it. So, minutes record, as you said, what occurred in a meeting. What happens in a meeting is not always factual, the information that's presented. It's what you know at the time or what's presented to you at the time. So, my thought would be at this meeting, potentially, some of that information that might not have been correct in the last meeting will be recorded in this meeting.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm with you on that.
okay, so,
I just want to make sure, Mayor, that somebody reads this and they read just this last meeting, that they think that's the actual facts. I don't believe you should have to read 3 sets of meetings to find out what the real truth is. If we know that it's error, we ought to identify it and then fix it in this meeting. And I think we can do that very easily in the minutes just by saying last meeting it said this is what we found to be more accurate. And make those 2 or 3, 4 line items in the deal.
Would it be appropriate to add to last time's minutes, please see, January 20th minutes for updated information?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it in the motion, not in
Okay, you want to make that motion before we approve the minutes?
the. I move to adopt the December 16th, 2025 minutes of the Water Utility Board as written, with the following statements included as part of this motion. Due to the discrepancy of information provided in the liaison report, those individuals reading these minutes are hereby alerted to the existence of errors and discrepancy as reported. The minutes of the January 20th, 26 minutes will include highlighted corrections. If anybody agrees.
Okay, is anyone?
Second.
Is that a second, Lee?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the motion to add the,
Clarifying
Paragraph.
language. Clarifying language.
the clarifying language to the minutes.
There's your copy.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We will add that to the minutes of the last meeting and then make corrections in this meeting.
Lee, I did just want to clarify, you were talking about what units the chlorine levels were measured at. 99.9% of the time, they're measured in milligrams per liter or parts per million. I believe the levels are 0.2, which is completely accurate, and that is what we probably should be chlorinating at. 2 part per million I would consider high. 4 part per million is technically the MCL, which is the maximum contaminant level for chlorine in drinking water. So we cannot chlorinate to 4.0. We would not want to even approach that level, because if we were to have a 4.0 detected out in the system, we would be in violation. So we would receive a violation through the EPA during our system sampling. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was understanding of that. 2 part per million is actually pretty high chlorine residual carried through the system. A 0.2 is what is recommended as the minimum residual in a system while sampling.
Okay.
That's by the Safe Water Drinking Act, which we technically don't follow.
So the 0.2 is also parts per million?
Yes, yep. Part per million or
Where
milligrams.
is that, where is that 0.2 measured? Is that at the end of the pipe or is that at the beginning?
Normally, it's measured at your sample sites. So you'll have your sample sites that are used for compliance for the total coliform rule. That's where that 0.2 is measured.
So
Because that's after your detention time and that's after all of your chlorine demand is met. So that's what's considered the residual, not the dosed chlorine, which are two separate numbers.
So what's the other
Well, I looked
units?
it up and 2 is normal in what, what I found when I looked it up. 4 was, yes, that was the upper limit,
Yep.
but 0.2 is 1/10 of what the normal amount is. So I'm a little bit confused by your response.
So 2 for large systems, for, systems that you would run 100,000 people, where you have large dead-end mains, where you have mains that are very old, 1800-year-old, 1800s, cast iron water mains with heavy tuberculation, you may need to dose at higher dosages so that during stagnation times, you're not having a complete depletion of your chlorine. In a system like this, where we are using spring water, it's very cold, a 0.2, in my opinion, would be acceptable for sampling and for drinking. The lower the chlorine that you can dose with and still maintain disinfection and maintain residual through the system is your best bet.
Amen.
It's cheapest. It's-
I fully agree with that.
Yep.
And can our liaison, Rue, can you confirm we're at 0.2 or at 2?
It's 0.2, it depends, that's what they wanna see, like, I'm looking at some of the, results from testing from last month, and in some places, the residual was 0.1, in some places it was 0.3, so it varies. But 0.2, I believe, is what the EPA is currently wanting us to be able to demonstrate.
And they're pulling that from the Safe Water Drinking Act, from the
Yes.
10 state standards.
Yep.
So 10 state standards is the updated, technically by Safe Water Drinking Act. As long as you have a residual, you can pull the sample.
Yes.
Safe Water Drinking Act states that it's 0.2 is best practices. I say that with.
The units are milligrams per liter?
Correct. Parts per million or
Parts per
milligrams per
million.
liter. They are interchangeable.
You confirm that, Rue?
Yes, it's milligrams per, what is it, meter cubed, or just
Milligrams per liter or part per million.
Yeah, or ppm,
Parts per million?
yeah.
Okay.
Question,
No, I agree.
question on,
The-
just a general question on the chlorination. Do you do it every day? Do you do it once a week? Do you do it once a month? It's daily?
It should be daily, it should be consistent, and it should be, whenever your well is running, you will be chlorinating, because that's where your chlorinate
Just,
at.
just a input from a,
Yeah, and
from a,
so there's chlorine pumps, right, Zach, that automatically dispense the chlorine into the system. I'm probably saying that wrong. Is that?
Yeah, that's
accurate?
right. We have them on each well. As soon as the well turns on, it's chlorinating. We have the big one at Prater, and as the water's running through, it's chlorinating. So as the system's running, it's chlorinating, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Just input from me as a customer. I made a comment that we're through chlorinating because I can't smell the chlorination, and it was beautiful. And I no sooner got it out of my mouth than 2 days later, I got this shot of chlorine that came through. Is it normal, or did we make a change in the volume of, and I live up on Vista.
Yeah. No, we've had it at per EPA, what they requirement, that's where we've got everything set. You might get something like in a end of a cul-de-sac, like a dead head, you know, where it'll bottle up for a second, but we're exercising those, you know, especially through the winter,
So
so.
I'm on a main road.
Yeah.
Normally, in the winter, we're up there by ourselves, but with the new BMPs, It's a small city up there. So I don't know if it was more activity, we drew more water, or we drew less, or what. It was just
Yeah.
one of those things that happen to you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you make a comment, me being a smart aleck, and all of a sudden it's rammed down your throat.
Yeah, it's,
I think it's been better this time
Yeah.
around, just because, I mean, the staff has put a lot of time into trying to get it right, and also replacing some of the older chlorine pumps
Yeah.
That weren't functioning
Might-
properly, so I
That
think
might
it's
have been
been
a
better.
problem too.
Is it LMIs or peristaltics?
Well, I liked the way it was.
I know, without it, got it.
LMIs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, we approved the clarifying language. Did we approve the minutes?
No.
Okay.
Oh,
We got on the sidetrack.
motion to approve the minutes.
You have a second?
I second.
So
I
moved
can't,
and
I
second
made-
that we approve the minutes with the clarifying language. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we have a standing agenda item with our council liaison, and item C. We just had a discussion with the mayor. I don't know if you're familiar with our financial statements, but evidently they're what the government wants us to publish.
Yes.
Even though they aren't very useful and don't make much sense in places, that's what they want to see, so,
Yeah. Can I just add to that real quick? Our software system is called Cassell, and it's set up and formatted in the way that the auditors and the state want to see the financial statements.
Yeah.
And those are not necessarily the most user-friendly when you look at how it aggregates or it totals information or numbers at the bottom. So we were talking before the meeting about if there's a way we can maybe publish something for the public that's a little more user-friendly, and helps better track how we're doing on expenditures versus operational incomes and capital versus, money that's being spent out of reserve, so.
It would be much helpful,
Yeah.
more helpful for the people, even me.
Yes, so we'll see what we can do to maybe improve that, so.
so we probably won't discuss that today. We'll just,
You're satisfied with what the mayor's told you?
yeah, we'll wait and see if we can get something that is a little more useful. I mean, it is rate setting time, and we'd like to see those
Yes, I understand,
income and expenses, so.
right.
Status of Simply SCADA software.
Who is setting the rates?
Let's-
Wade has asked us to make a rate proposal. And we will probably not be the only ones. So we will probably talk about that next month.
Can I add to that?
Yeah.
If you brought it up, seeing how Lee brought it up. When he asked for a rate proposal,
Mm-hmm.
you and I had a short discussion on this about using CPI as a basis for making a rate. I've been doing budgets and helping people with budgets for 30 years before I forgot everything that I learned. But in the old days, I'm confused by his request, I guess. How is he going to use ours? Is it just one of many? Because we're going to base it on something that has nothing to do with the town of Star Valley Range. It's going to be, if we use CPI, we're going to say, here was last year's, here's CPI, and here's the new one. That's our proposal. I don't feel comfortable with that. I mean, I thought rate setting was a process of give and take on expenses and revenues, and you start out with, I want everything, and where can we cut and keep some kind of reasonableness to the rate increase. Every book I've ever read says that consistent rate increases are your best answer to rates. If you gotta make them, and you know if you're gonna make it either this year or next year, is it to appease us? I'm being smart. But seriously, we should input into the system the way it's going to exist. If the request is 50 cents, we may want to put in $1, just to keep it consistent because of something in the future. But we gotta know what the future holds. If it's $4, we ought to come back to the council and say, that's a big deal. What can you defer for 1 year so we can do it $2 and $2? Something like that. But it's difficult to say, give me a rate. And I don't, am I making sense or not?
Yeah, but at the same time, I think we can come up with justifications of why we think the rate should be a certain.
Is it, are we gonna give him a maximum or a minimum?
What do the funds from water bills cover? Just the operations and the reserve for the water system, or is it the revenue for the town for
No,
other things?
There's no
Does it
revenue for
pay-
the town. We pay a portion of the personnel from Public Works.
I mean, you gotta have that information, you have that information on
Right,
this.
Yeah.
that's last
But you have
year's,
to have
that's
that
last
in
year's
order to
budget.
Evaluate the rate.
Yeah, we pay that, we pay
Some admin.
some administration. I can
We
give
probably
you
own
the whole
partial
list of them
equipment.
here.
Who pays for the
Trucks and
library
stuff like that,
downstairs
but-
and the mailroom?
Salary and wages, principal and interest on loans. And then there's supposed to be something left over to fund reserves for capital expenditure.
State of Wyoming law says that you cannot have water rates pay for anything other than water-related expenses.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
different than Arizona.
Yes.
We use it to pay for a lot of things.
And then,
It's just
and it also says that the
enterprise.
towns, the towns can give the water utility money. The water utility
From
can-
other revenues.
from other revenues, any revenue they want. The water utility, if we were plush, could loan them money, but we have to loan it to them at going interest rates.
Okay.
So they've tried to build a barrier to say that it's a self-sufficient funded entity, and it is a separate
Okay.
corporation incorporated.
So you can't use it as a cash cow, which I'm assuming is what
Right.
happened.
You can't just keep
Yes.
raising it to pay for
Sure,
the
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
kids on the
All right.
States Park.
okay.
so anyway,
I could tell that you.
we'll be discussing that in our next meeting. We're
Okay.
kind of going backwards on the agenda here. Simply SCADA, what's our, seems like it's been with us a long time
Well,
and not much has changed.
that's why Mr. Edwards is
Yep.
here. He's
This,
gonna,
this is a new SCADA system that we just,
Let me try to zoom in real quick, if you let me, so that they can see it as well. I'm gonna try.
okay.
Um,
Doing some,
I gotta move it
oh,
over.
yeah. We're trying to zoom so you can see too, Lee.
It takes me a minute because it's backwards on this remote, so I apologize.
Yeah, I like how you zoom.
Oh, I
into
can't,
the-
I can't see it.
Executive
I'm
It
getting
went
there.
down instead of up.
Yeah, she's getting there.
Getting there.
It's like, it's
A bit more.
counterintuitive.
It's very temperamental. Oops.
Oh,
Okay, I can see it.
See?
now you can see the ceiling.
Can we do
You have to
that?
look real quickly.
Take your camera.
Back down a little more. Okay, I can see it.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more.
I would never make fun of somebody doing it, because I have no idea.
No.
There you go.
Okay, we're gonna
We
go a
could
little
use
bit more,
words
and
like
hopefully you can see it,
spastic
Lee.
to define it.
Just gotta move it with a ladder.
I'm gonna try, let's see. Okay. All right, we'll see if you can see, at least
A little bit.
And I'm gonna, oh, yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna help you, Lee. I tried.
Judge,
Excuse me.
Zach, while you're waiting, the two tanks on the left, does that represent Prater?
yes.
Are the heights of those tanks graphically represent what's up on the mountainside?
Yes, that's right at the overflow, just
No,
maybe
but-
just a shade under the overflow. yes.
But the two tops of the tanks are equal in height, or are they different in height?
well, you've got one tank bigger than the other tank. you know,
Understand that.
Then
But I mean,
they'll
height.
feed back, yes. Yeah,
The height of the two tanks are the same.
yeah, pretty close.
We were arguing about that the
Yeah.
other day, and I just
Oh,
needed
one's
that
just-
clarified.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the new Simply SCADA system. It's up and running now. As you can tell here, with the green, this pump is running now, and, you know, it's feeding, the tanks. We can go in now and, like I said, remotely, and turn whichever pump on. You can tell the temperatures. It's just like the other SCADA we have, but this flows a lot better. It gives you the activities and you know, the first response, Green Canyon, Prater, Fox Run, our strip and everything. And like I said, it's running right with the old SCADA system. We was doing the comparisons to see. This one gives us the same alerts. It tells you how much chlorine, like at Prater.
Oh, look, there
See,
it is, point
that's the
2.
0.2 that's coming out. It tells you the gallon, how much we're getting out of the spring. We're getting 117 gallons per minute out of the spring. It's got the overflows with everything, and then you can go up here and hit like total flow. And Simply SCADA right now is working on a formula that makes it so much easier for us to get the total flows every month, or we can pull it off at any time during the month to do it. And like I said, it's like I said, I can bring it up, it'll talk to you, just whatever you need. It's so much better than what we had. The other one was, to me, was an 1800 model. Because you would hit stuff and sometimes it would take you a day to get information. This is quick.
How
you
much
know.
is that? What's the gallons per minute on that pump?
Right now, we're pumping, well, it's a PSI, we're pumping, well, that's the hours. I would have to go into it, that's just how much it's running.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, we're pumping 345 gallons a minute right now.
Do you cycle the pumps to other pumps?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's, and these people that we're working with, I mean, they've been right there, they're engineers. And this system is set up for, we're looking at, in the future, with our PRVs, that we'll be able to put the readers in the PRVs, and it will be right on this same screen over here.
On the right side?
Yes, or however we want to do it.
Are you talking about doing the retrofit kits that do the flow? Is that what
Yes,
you're saying?
yes, we can do that. We can look at the, you know, the ups, I mean, the highs and the lows. Scott, our engineer, has really went out of his way. We can run off of battery or solar system, you know, solar or battery, whichever, you know, help. And we even talked about maybe doing cameras inside of our PRVs to help, just to see leaks and, you know, stuff like that. But like I said, this is way better. It took a little while to get everything because we dumped a lot on Simply SCADA, and then they had to work through to get their stuff the way they was running their system to cater to us. And it's, like I said, I can't say nothing but good for them.
But you don't have a lot of learning to do then, really.
Well, that's the thing, what you see right here, me, the water guys, we built this system. So that's what Simply SCADA is, you build your own system. We give you the tools, but you set it the way you want to, so you read it, because it ain't like somebody sitting in a cubicle somewhere reading it, we're reading it. And that's so much easier, and we can get a hold of them, I can call them any day, any hour of the night, there's always a live person talking to you, it ain't a computer, you know?
On the left side, are those the 3 wells and the depths to water there?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, yeah, that's we're at 81, well, like I said, this one right here, 81 feet, that's how much water is in that well. 114 feet, that's how much is in that well now, 143 feet.
Above the bowls.
That's above.
Oh, above the.
Yeah, that's,
above the pump.
Depth of the well and how much water's in the
how much
column?
water I get,
In the column.
storage
Right.
in that well, you know. And like I said, we have, when we got the Green Canyon, when all that was, and they got the inside liner done and we filled that up, we turned all 3 of these pumps on. And I can't remember, Mayor, what that was. It was way over 1,000 and some gallons a minute.
Yeah.
I think we filled we filled Green Canyon tank, and I think it was like 4 or 5 hours.
It was so much faster
quick.
than I thought it was gonna be.
I went up and raised the hatch, and it was like, you don't need to be in there when water's coming that quick, you know? Yes.
Is the Green Canyon tank connected to the other two tanks in
Yes.
succession?
Yes, like I said, we pump in the Green Canyon, our Green Canyon tank is just consider that as a holding tank.
Tank, right.
Yeah, it don't go into our system.
System, it just
It pumps from here
into those.
up to here, and then from here to here.
Okay.
You know,
And then from there, it's distributed.
it's
to-
gravity back out.
Okay.
Yes,
So we're serving every meter out of Prater.
yes.
And why was that decision made?
Excuse me, I didn't understand.
Why was that decision made?
About the,
About not using green local, for servicing meters on the lower elevations?
that was before my watch.
Was it?
Yeah,
Because we're spending a lot of money pumping water up to the top of the hill
yeah,
just to come back down the hill below the feed level
yeah.
of the Green Canyon tank.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, boy, but I tell you what, if something happens, we get a high volume of water usage, it's sure nice to have this right here, that nearly 500,000 gallons of water, you know, to go through, you
Yeah,
know?
I understand.
I don't know why back in the day they didn't do that, you know, but that's all, if you to do that today, it's all new water lines, you'd have to tie in, stuff like that, you know?
I'm old school.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of people between you and me.
Yeah, they
So
are.
please excuse and understand it.
that's fine, that's
Uh,
fine.
Plus, I have a memory problem, which is you don't have, so.
Yes, I do, I volunteer it sometimes.
You might have to add a bunch more equipment on Green Canyon tank in order to.
Green Canyon was feeding 2/3 of the town's
Yeah,
water supply, 2/3 of it,
yeah,
which means we're pumping 2/3 up
In the, you're
and
talking
back
about
down
during the summer?
for no use, yeah.
yeah.
That's an expense that could become
What is the
astronomical.
change in flow rate on the spring from winter to summer to fall?
Well,
Any change, or is it pretty consistent?
yeah, it varied. I mean, like I said, you're seeing 118 now, and soon as spring gets here, if there's ever gonna be such a thing as that, I have seen it up pushing nearly 400 gallon a minute.
And then by September,
And
it's
then
down
it-
to 100 again?
Yeah, because it's just the way the water coming into the spring.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
Intermittent spring.
yeah.
No way.
But Boyd, with your question, that would be a good one for the engineer, because
I'll write it down.
that was part of, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense to pump stuff up the hill. I do now understand some of the things that I've been questioning about the operation.
Yeah,
Why are we doing this?
yeah,
And if it's, and again, we never did it, and you've always done it.
yeah,
So somewhere in between there,
Yeah,
somebody made a
changed.
decision,
Right.
and I hope it was recorded. I doubt it, but I mean, it should have been.
well, and to go along with your question, is what happened if the spring did trickle down to what, but 20, 30 gallons? They won't be able to keep up with Prater.
No,
That's-
you would then.
Yeah, then we could pump in, I understand what you're saying,
The
yes.
reason we put those 3 booster pumps in there
Yeah,
is, now, I'm telling you what I understood, so
Yeah.
don't believe everything, but 2 of them were gonna be the maximum you could use at any one time.
yeah,
The third one was strictly to make damn sure that if we needed them, we had them.
yes.
And that we would pump water into Prater when the spring was down
Yeah.
and the volume was up.
Yeah,
And that was the skater was supposed to manage that for us.
yeah,
We've been arguing, you haven't been part of it, but we've been arguing, why don't you just let the Prater go down a ways and at night let it fill up and go down at night and fill up? That's the way it was designed.
yeah,
And if it went down and didn't come up,
yeah,
you brought it up.
yeah,
The original parameters were we kept every tank within 2 to 4 feet of the top.
yeah,
The reason was, we didn't have fire suppression. We didn't have anything left.
yeah,
We now have a pump over, I mean, a well over here that will pump more water than we can get to a fire hydrant and onto a fire.
yeah.
So we don't need tanks for fire suppression.
Yeah,
If we were using strictly pumps, we wouldn't even need tanks, theoretically.
Yeah,
And that's what bothers me is our engineer has either made a decision and we're not aware of it, or he's made a decision and he hasn't thought about it. And that is, we're looking at a huge amount of money for a Prater Canyon tank. My recollection was, we're gonna put this 400,000 gallon tank up there, so when the old one dies, we don't replace it. But we're gonna use it because it's valuable storage at the time, because we didn't have fire suppression capability of getting that much flow into the system other than through storage tanks. So I bring this up more as a, like, you know, question that I would like some answers so I could fretting about it, you know, or arguing about it. And because really, the net of it is, you and this board should be on exactly the same page on everything. Because if we're not, we're spinning our wheels or we're confusing everybody.
yeah.
Zach, do you have a way of keeping track of the cost of moving water from Green Canyon up to the,
They're on a separate meter.
Yep,
so you have a way to do that? You have a
Yep,
way
with
to
meters,
figure that
yes.
out?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, anything coming and going is metered, you know, yeah.
Are there 3 meters or just 1 meter for those 3 pumps? I thought there was just 1 meter for the 3, isn't there? Or do you know right off?
To go into Green, to
Yeah.
go into Green
booster
Canyon?
pumps, the booster pumps.
Yes, yeah, the pumps, yeah, we know exactly what, both of them goes into one meter, that we
Yeah.
know what goes into the tank.
Yeah.
And there's a meter for the overflow, there's a meter for from Green Canyon to Prater. We know what goes into Prater, we know what goes from big Prater tank into the small Prater tank, then we know what's going out, you know.
The spring dumps into the little one,
Yes, yes.
and the little one feeds the big one.
Yep.
I mean,
It's crazy, you know, if you look at it, you think, you know, little one, big one, but it just, the way it is, it's kind of like it's backwards in a way, you know, I mean, again, I wasn't here when that, and I couldn't figure that out. So you're going a mile to come back a half a mile.
But
you know.
we had so much air in our water
Yeah,
that we used the little one to dissipate as much air as we could. Because it seemed like the second movement had air in it as well.
Yeah.
So we said, let's have the second movement go into another tank,
yeah,
so that when it came out to the user, we didn't have as much air in the
Yeah.
tank. We still have it, but not anywhere near what we
Yeah.
used to have.
yeah, understandable, yeah,
Sorry, sir.
yeah.
Okay, I guess my question is,
Where does the overflow, what would happen if Prater tanks were full and the spring added more water than we were using? Where would the overflow go?
And that's the thing, the way this system is set up, just like Green Canyon, it runs down the ditch. That's why we have everything set up, set up the way it is, that we stay right under that, you know.
Do you monitor overflow on this one?
Yes, yeah, I think they got that part, like I said, we're still working through a little bit of stuff, but
Oh.
I think we do. Like I said, this is the Prater, the spring, this is your overflow in between the tanks. See, yes, see, it's doing nothing now. You see your overflow. Same as over here, you know, your overflow. We're not having no overflow because we're staying right under where we got our perimeter set. You know.
Zach, for your information,
Yeah,
we've been tracking that for years,
yeah,
up until about 6 months ago.
yeah,
One, and I can't tell you, but I could tell you if you need the information.
Yeah.
One of those overflows never moved a drop of
Yeah.
water. Is that, in your mind, likely or not likely?
well, like I said, when we just got finished with Green Canyon, you know, we had a dump
Sure.
site. And I watched that overflow. I knowed exactly how much we dumped in the ditch, because it was a reading.
Yeah,
Same thing over here. When they went in and started doing the cleaning for these 2 tanks, I was up there, and watched them. I let them in and sit there, and me and the town administrator sit there both days and watched them. And you wouldn't think, but if you go in this tank here, you wouldn't think one body would bring the water up enough just to do the overflow. I could watch the overflow tick as it was going into the next tank. Just one person with his stuff, and of Because like I said, we keep it right under, with our perimeters, we keep it right under the overflow mark.
Yeah.
You know, and we have a high flow, I'll get an alert, hey, we got a high flow. So that means this tank is getting up to the overflow mark. And then we have a perimeter set. I mean, you kind of see these right here is we'll have okay, we get into the 4 foot or whatever it is, then we need to see what's going on. Why ain't the pumps kicking on?
Yeah.
And that's with our old system that we had a few, when the internet went down, we wouldn't get alerts, but every day we have an alert. And me and the water op guys is just like, yesterday, hey Quentin, are you getting your daily alerts? Yeah, I've got mine. Well, mine come in like 10 minutes later.
Oh.
So we know about 9:30, we're getting a daily alert. If we don't get it, somebody's on SCADA looking,
Yeah.
you know, what's going on? Did the system crash or something like that? And what was neat is this one was still going. Our old Jesse Road SCADA crashed. It went offline, but this one still kicked in. So that's good.
Can we get a couple of pictures of this?
Yeah.
You know, to send it to us on our email so
Yeah.
we could see it.
Yeah, yeah,
That would, because I can't see anything.
yeah,
through
that's
here.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
do control print screen.
Maybe we can work it out again to where Quentin can come down and maybe one of you water me, and then he can get in, you know.
Oh.
I can too, but like I said, he can zoom over here and hit Green Canyon controls or whale pump controls or our alarm sets and kind of show what we've got set up, you
Yeah, I
know.
just wanted to see the
Yeah.
pictures so that if there's something there that I don't know, we can ask them.
Yeah,
And you-
yeah,
You can
yeah.
post it onto.
That looks like, that's gonna be exciting.
Well, it's exciting because it's like,
Because it works.
how can I say this?
How you get to it from there, though.
You have a little baby and you get to see it grow because you've had something to do with that little baby. I guess that's the way I should put it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of with this. I mean, we started with a little bit and like I say, they got so many options. If we can get our PRVs on,
Oh, yes,
man.
absolutely.
You know.
I would like to be able to just go on that stream right there and be able to see, well, technically not with your eye, but water starts here, what you go all, and we could be able to see exactly what's doing, what's not doing.
Well, and you spend a lot of people time
Yep,
up and down in those damn PRVs,
Yeah.
and that's the most dangerous place we have in this system.
right now, I mean, it's the ice and all that, and it'd be so much,
Oh.
there
Is that a big deal money-wise?
Not really, because we've already got the tags already for the SCADA. All it would be just the readers,
The
you know,
monitors.
yeah, and then just the battery or the solar or whatever, you know, would be the only thing. And like I said, Scott sent me a estimate of that, and I ain't had a chance to open it up and look at it, because I mean, that would be something we probably, if we do decide to do it, the council decides to do it, it'd be like a spring deal.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
but that ought to offset, you ought to be able to offset that almost
Oh,
with
yeah.
labor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
We've sent 2 men out to all those things.
yeah. And it, like I said, it'd be so good, because right now, I send 2 people out, because you've got one going down,
Yeah.
and you've got one topside. That's the safest way. And they'll say, well, I can do it, I don't need something. No, that's not the point. I want 2 people to go. I know it's a little bit of man hours, but if something happens, because if you're down in a PRV and just say the pipe blows, you'll never get out of there,
That's right.
you know.
We
so-
had a guy who had a wild sense of humor, and he said that second guy is there to retrieve the body of the first guy.
Exactly. That's,
That's, unfortunately, that's so true,
yeah,
because you don't live through those.
nope. Because that
Okay,
would,
what reports do we need, Boyd? And how close are we to getting reports out of the system?
Is the data being recorded now that we can retrieve?
yes.
Can you retrieve the data?
Yes, and that's what I was saying, with their system, they come in, and their engineers, we just talked to them last week, we had a Zoom meeting with Simply SCADA. With their engineers, the way they had it set up, it was like, from what I understand, it would go to like, 320 or something thousand gallons, something, it would reset.
Sure.
But it would show that it made one rotation. But then here you are, well, this has got 3 rotations, then we add another 100 and some thousand gallon. Their engineers now is doing it to where we don't have to have that. So it's taking the math out of it. All I want to do is I want to see the numbers and the commas.
And
I don't
somebody-
want to have to start, because I'm like you boys, sometimes my calculator forgets stuff, so. And I want it to be easy to where when you just request the total flows, it's just a punch and we can send it. Not like, okay, you gotta look how many times it's rolled over, stuff like that. So that's what we're
But
working on.
everything should be available now.
It should be, because this has been up going for a while. And when we was with Sunkel Skater last week, their engineer guy pulled some numbers up, and it'll do graphs. It does everything. Shows the times of the high usage, low usage, and where it tapers off. And it'll show to where, like, the pump is stopped. And if there's any variation in that, then to me, that kind of shows, okay, there's some water going somewhere.
Yep.
And of course, you're talking to a guy that's got more degrees than the thermometer does, trying to talk to an old country boy, Slow you roll back a little bit, I'll catch up, just give me a few minutes, because he's just zipping through pages and da-da-da-da-da on the screen, so, yeah.
Well,
They can tell when you're taking a shower.
they probably bet they can.
Yeah.
So what meters are being used to provide input now? Is it this, our old meters are still functioning?
Yeah, right now, and that was gonna be the next thing I was gonna,
But let's, as far as the information we need, I'm hesitating, not because I don't know what I want, but I'm wondering if the system could just give us the answer.
yeah.
It would be more,
What's
it would
the
be more.
What's the question?
That's, I guess I should have said that before I went.
We're wanting to look at is the efficiency.
yeah.
How much is
You
coming
wanna look
in,
at
how much is going out, and how much.
Production versus delivery.
Yeah, and what's the difference?
Yeah,
And the last time we ran our report, we were running it in, unfortunately, about, we were over 50%, but not much.
Yeah.
I mean, that runs us right into, though, the new meters.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to have
But if we,
those.
what I'm thinking though, is if we, I would like to have information that says, the old meter ran this short period of time and produced 10 gallons. This one ran the same period of time, 10 minutes later, and that's when you put the new one in.
yeah,
And it ran 12 gallons
yeah.
on every meter we put in.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we can take our data that we've had, historical data, and say, there's an average of a X amount of percentage loss that we're not accounting for because of meters, historically.
Yeah,
Then, so that's one thing I'd like to see happen, but right now, I'd like to get as much as I can on the old meters, so that when the new ones are installed, which should be reasonably soon, I assume.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'll fix some talk about that.
Yeah,
We're just
but-
gonna better understand production,
Yeah,
not necessarily.
So do we need to come over and sit down and tell you what reports we want, or?
Yeah, we can, however you want to work that out, Mayor.
see if I could give you a report that I put together and show you where I get the information from the old SCADA. Would that do it?
Possibly, I guess,
Yeah.
just so we,
I don't want people to do if the answers are there,
yeah,
or more, we might as well just take them.
yeah.
Yeah,
Give me the graph.
I mean, we could start, I suppose, well, if you can do that, and then we could start with this, production versus delivery or use, whatever you wanna call it,
Yeah.
just as an example of, I don't know
Want
what
us-
reports they have set up, I haven't been run through it
Yeah.
myself, so I don't really, sure it could do all kinds of things.
So do you want us just to give you what information we'd like?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
do
then-
that, and then we can kind
You
of look and
guys
see what the
develop the
system.
questions, and she'll figure out the answer.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the idea.
Okay,
let's see, okay, right here, this is kind of some of your graphs, right here, and you can go through, I mean, that's just the last 7 days. You can back it up, you can do the 30s, the 60s, the minutes, 30, 60, 90 minutes, da-da-da-da-da. And like I said, with Quentin, I mean, he's pretty slick at this. He has more time to fool with it than I do. But you can do it to where you can see the line, like whatever well, it'll go through, then where we pumped, and where it'll stay gradual, but, just stuff like that. But that's just a little quick of what this thing will do. I mean, this is how it's breaking down the time, the hours,
Yeah,
how it breaks the time down.
In the past, Zach, what we've tried to do is to do things for a month
Yeah,
with a day-by-day detail.
yeah,
No more detail than just a day,
yeah,
24 hours.
yeah,
Then if there's an issue that we spot or something that doesn't fit, we ask the question, what
Yeah.
happened on this day? And then you get down into the hours, minutes, and seconds.
oh, yeah,
Because that's more, how do we fix it?
yeah,
We're just trying to say,
yeah,
give the council something that says, this thing looks like it's running pretty darn good. Or it runs really good except for.
yeah,
And that except for is what you, as the management, should be looking at.
yeah,
And then Zach, unfortunately, you get the answer.
yeah,
I'm sorry, but we don't have enough information.
Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah, but if I do, I'll get that to you. I'll send that to you in the next couple of days.
okay.
If I send you something that's,
Do you want to have to go through you and
I'd
Trevor?
like to see
You
it.
wanna-
You send it to me if you will, and then I can.
Yeah, we
I'd
can,
like to,
Yeah.
Yeah,
before
we
you
can-
send it, I'd like to see it.
okay, sure.
yeah,
All I'm gonna do is say, this is what we got before.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
The only thing that you don't have in what we put together was the usage, and that comes from our water clerk
The billing.
as far as the billing's concerned.
yeah.
And
What do the customers see in their billing? Start, stop? Do they know how much they
Isn't it just
consume?
Just
monthly
the bill that
usage,
shows
right?
just a
Yeah.
monthly
monthly with
usage.
a
Yeah.
year's
They,
history.
they are able to see monthly usage.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
13 months of usage.
So if they're gone for 3 months and they're showing usage, they know they've got a leak somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be an
They're ready.
indicator for sure, yeah.
And that's how we have went out and we've had residents call, hey, I've been gone. I'm out for the winter, like last winter. We had a elderly woman say, hey, I've been gone and I've got a water bill and I'm not there. Everything should be shut down. And she give us the code and we got with Jim and her spigot was running, it had blowed out inside of her house.
Ooh.
But because of that, because like I said, they see a little bit of difference,
That's important
Yeah.
information for
Yes.
customers. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
The unfortunate part is you get it a month later.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Better
It
than
happens on the
never.
first versus the 30th, right?
Yeah,
We had water running in the guy's basement. He just opened his slider in his basement and
Just-
let the water run through.
Oh,
Yeah.
Same
goodness,
thing.
That's terrible.
yeah.
So why don't you put together what you need?
Yeah,
Let's get it to the
I'll send
mayor.
it,
Yeah.
I'll send it to the board.
Yep.
Let me ask the board to just say, got it, no questions. Then I'll know that at least we agree.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you, Mayor.
Okay.
So you'll get one edit before you get to see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, this missing water is an important issue. If you read our master plan, there's
Yes.
different scenarios depending on if we get it solved. I mean, if we don't solve it, we're looking at bigger tanks, another well. If we do solve it, we can scale all of that back, so.
Well, and the state of Wyoming says if you're throwing water away, we're not gonna give you any more money.
Lost revenue, yeah.
Yeah,
If you're doing a good job, then we'll help you, but if you're not, we won't. So that bothers me if we have something that we need to go get money, or ask for money, I should say.
yeah.
And they say, what's your performance? And you tell them 60%.
Yeah, you're like, what?
They say, don't even get in line. Just
Better
leave
be
it.
under
Go
10%.
fix
Yeah,
your
that's
Yeah,
problem
the
first.
that's what I'm
standard.
trying to say.
so.
It's ugly.
Okay, any update on the large meter installations? Okay.
Yes, we're waiting on the Core Main. We've got 2 more 8s are coming. There was a 10 and 12 that somewhere in the process was sent, and we don't need a 10 or 12. Talked to Dan last week. He said it was gonna be like 1 to 2 weeks out, so I'm still saying within another week. But we have the other meters, at the water shop. Some of the new meters, like I said, you're not gonna get the exact size on everything. So some of them was a little bit shorter, so there is some gaskets that Dan's gonna bring in with Core Main. So when we start this, we can go. I don't want, and that's what I was talking to the mayor and the Trevor and the water guys is when we start this, we gotta shut the valves down because we're taking a section out. Well, we put that one in, well, if we're waiting on this one, we turn the water back on, then we gotta cut it right back off. That recreates water bubbles. When I shut a system down, let's get it, when we turn it back on, it's good to go. So, and that's why we decided, let's do the simple SCADA first. Let's get the programming in, do the main, the big meters, get them in, so we can start seeing what's coming and go, what's coming and going. And then March the 1st, the first 250 residential meters is supposed to be delivered, March 1st. Talking to the guys and the way we've got everything worked out, and that's kind of like the iWorks program capability that this county falls to that, is we'll put that in the iWorks program, is I'm just gonna put this out there, area 20, plot 21. I know how many homes this are, 2 guys per crew, go out, and we've got it roughed down and we can do at least 20 a day with 2 people. That's installs. If I can run 4 people, that's 40 a day. And the way it is get them in. When you put them in, you GPS you take a picture of the new residential meter, you GPS it, you put your blue T-post on it, and then move on to the next. And every bit of that will be uploaded into the iWorks. I kind of jumped ahead of you on the iWorks, but I was trying to tie all this in. The big meters is tied into iWorks too, because when we go and do whatever meter in Green Canyon, it's set up as a work order in iWorks. And if I go in, I put the iWorks in, I do the work order, and it's for Quentin and Clay. When they get the pictures, get it done, they go back and say this job is completed. Then I go back in and follow up and make sure it's done. Then I close that job out. We've always got that documentation.
Sure.
And that's the iWorks program that we have now.
Mayor, I'd like to request right now, monthly billing data for the last 3 months. The same way I've always got it, just here's the address and here's the amount billed. And then, Zach, if you can get the information back to us as to when you make that change,
Yep,
we will do a comparison by meter
yep,
on the first full month, because we're just getting 1 month at a time.
yep,
So the month you do it is
Yeah.
garbage.
yep,
But the month before and the month after, we can do a comparison.
yep,
And if there's a significant difference,
Yep.
because I can tell if you set 10 million gallons and we build 12 million, there's a 2 million, 20% increase.
Yeah.
And everybody should be within that 20% on average.
yep,
We will give you a list back through the mayor of those counts or locations that have a difference in their meters,
yep,
both plus and minus.
yep. And
Can you think of something else we should be doing? But I like to verify those
How do you
meters.
know that that's a good comparison if they're,
You're gonna get exceptions, but the exceptions stick out like a sore thumb. I'm on vacation.
So Zach, where do those 2 8-inch meters that you've got coming, where do they go?
We have a dry summer. we have a
They're
wet
they're
summer.
gonna go, one goes
Just
in
do a month to month.
Green Canyon and one goes into Prater. That's, when they went in, they was looking at one of the meters that's in the ground. And I don't know how they got it. It was a 12-inch. Thank goodness that it wasn't. And it was on the overflow for Green Canyon. That's not a 12-inch.
Where does the line go that you're putting them in?
One of them is the over, one of them
Is
is.
that the discharge from the Green Canyon pumps?
No, one of them is the overflow off of Green Canyon that goes down the ditch. And then the other one is the overflow between the 2 tanks on Prater.
They use the
Yeah,
same
the
overflow.
micrometer says that it's not accurate unless you have a full pipe. So.
I beg to differ, because I watched over 400,000 gallon go, and I could watch it count. And that's from a quarter turn, half turn, full turn on the overflow. Yeah,
It says so right in the thing that Rue sent to us, that it needs, needs a full pipe.
Well,
If that was the right, like, thing for the meter that I pulled off of their website, so, which I assumed it was.
I just know if you take the inside measurements of a pipe, you can get pretty close to the gallons. Then you look at the overflow meter, 1 or 2 gallons don't make a whole lot of difference when you're dumping nearly 400,000 gallon down the ditch. You know,
No, we're interested in the,
Well, hopefully we're not doing a lot of overflow anyway.
yeah.
No.
there shouldn't be.
That's just when we drained the
Yeah, the
tank,
tank for the.
when we did the lining.
Right, so
So
we
is-
won't be doing that all the time.
No, no, hopefully never.
Was there a concern or question about the comparison of the water billings before and after installation of new meters? We're both starting to have a discussion when the
Sorry.
other, no, it wasn't you, it was just, there was two things going on at the
Well,
same time.
that was the reason we replaced them, because they were all wrong.
Yeah.
And it would be nice for us to know, not all wrong, they're not all right either. To know if we have some suspicious ones that are, it's like the guy that stood up in the meeting and says, I'm getting 10 times more bill than I am water usage.
Yeah,
Those guys will come out of the woodwork. It's the ones that we should be concerned, the ones that get in a quarter of their bill. So we'll
What are you
look for
gonna,
those that
what are
are,
you gonna do? You gonna go back after them?
no,
Okay.
but if
I hope
you,
not.
please no.
what we should do though.
That's how the mayor
is
gets unelected.
we need to verify that what's correct is correct.
Yeah.
And if it is, if I'm getting $10 a month and you start billing me $40 a month, I'm gonna be in here.
Yeah.
And the answer ought to be, you had a meter, you enjoyed the low cost, your discount has been revoked.
That, yeah.
You're not getting the blue light special anymore?
No more, no. But I mean, it would help people in the administration side field some of these questions that are coming in. Because otherwise, Zach's people are gonna be out there monitoring every one of those damn meters that doesn't,
So what you're looking for is that information so that you can give the mayor a heads up. You might be hearing from some of these people.
yeah.
That's really what it is.
So I know, I want to tell her the ones that she, yeah.
Can you hear from?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be built more.
They're gonna get
They're
more
gonna
money,
show
yeah.
more use than they did historically.
Because the guys that are.
Given, we don't know all the variables, but given, yeah.
But
I mean,
one
it's a
other,
heads up,
but one other thing is, we're gonna now know is what percent of the waste that was in the system that we were calculating
Was
was
unmeasured.
actually at
Just
the,
unmeasured.
was the residential,
Right,
yeah.
right, right, okay.
And that's important.
Yeah. It is.
Okay, anything else on meters?
What Dave pulled together and responded back to me, said the meters are supposed to, you need to have it within the tolerances of the velocity that the meters are designed to have flowing through them for accuracy. And first of all, I see that you got a 6-inch micrometer on well number 3 that can deliver about 1,000 gallons a minute, and a 6-inch micrometer on the airstrip well that may deliver somewhere between 200 and 300 gallon a minute. So the velocity through those meters, and they're both 6-inch, are significantly different. And that, per what Dave sent back to me, that will, the accuracy will suffer because of the velocity difference. And also, each well has a VFD on it, a variable frequency drive, which says as you change the flow from the well, it will affect the accuracy of these mag flow meters as well. So how did we end up, how do we explain that as far as having an accurate meter?
That would be a good question for somebody way more educated than I am. That's why we have energy engineers involved in all this.
So-
Yeah,
Hopefully for each one of those meters, you'll get that accuracy curve.
it is. Yeah, that was straight from the manufacturer with our engineer. And like I said, we didn't just go and say we need 5, 8 inches, we need 7, 10 inches. Each new meter that the town purchased, it was all through our engineer. The engineer per exactly where it goes, by the flows and then the company's reaching out. Same as Core Main with Dan. right on this stuff, and like I said, we didn't just go and buy what we thought we needed. I mean, that's why it's took a while, because it's a lot of back and forwards, emails and communication, getting exactly what we needed to try to get as much accuracy as we can.
Do you
know.
vary the capacity of the pumping? I mean, how much do you use the VFDs, or are they really set at a certain
There-
rate?
The only time since I've been here that we changed the VFD is when Green Canyon, we had to take it offline.
Okay,
And so we could, that well could pump straight to Prater if we needed it. That would, and again, that was Ryan, our engineer, he said, hey, set it at this, he did the numbers. Luckily, the spring kept up for over a month or so on that.
Awesome.
We didn't have to pump the first gallon up there.
oh, okay.
Yes. And
So
it-
even though there's VFDs in it, you
Yeah.
really don't operate it as
No.
if it's a VFD?
The,
Okay.
the design criteria for originally were designers have one VFD.
Yeah.
Because you don't need it on 3 different
No,
pumps.
no, you don't.
No, but the VFDs have become so comparable
Is
to
it
soft
soft-
starts.
Is that what it is?
So they're using the VFDs as soft
Soft,
starts. It's
right.
the,
Yeah,
it's the new thing,
that's-
is you just
that's-
use a VFD as a soft start.
Okay, that makes sense.
And what you sent was completely factual, 100% factual about the meters. They are optimized for different flow rates,
Right.
but normally they have a very wide window. So we're not talking about, Lee, we're not talking about a window where this meter operates at 500 gallons per minute and nothing else. A lot of those 10-inch meters will operate down to 1 to 2 gallons per minute with a 98.5% accuracy.
Yeah.
And then they grow to around 100%, all the way up to 1,800 gallons per minute, say. And then it starts degrading further
Right, there's a
from there.
range where it's most accurate.
But it's a
You just
pretty
need to be in
wide
there.
range,
Okay.
yeah.
Real wide.
You'll normally have like 99% to 101% is usually your acceptable range
Right.
for like best usage.
When we saw the information, we didn't see that curve, so we don't
Yeah.
know what it was.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that the engineer, obviously, it sounds like they've taken that into consideration.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're micrometer
Yeah.
meters, yeah.
Mhm.
Mag meters, we install a lot of those,
Yes.
so the range is
Okay.
very wide
Do you install all of yours vertically or just
horizontally.
horizontally?
Yep,
Mhm.
horizontally.
Yep.
They are approved for horizontal installation and they are rated for
Okay,
that.
because that information didn't get flown over to us either.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yep.
Did you hear that, Layton?
You've got some things on that.
Yeah, it said they can be installed on that, but it also said that they needed to have a full pipe to be accurate.
Yes.
And the only way you can ensure you got a full pipe is have a vertical section.
That's,
All the
that's
time.
not, I mean, that's not true. Normally all of your wells will have air relief valves on them that will eject all
Do
the
they
air
have
from
that?
there.
Do they have air relief valves? Okay.
Yep, and our,
And you'll have a bypass around that?
The air relief usually
yeah,
just,
yeah, it's just up on top.
Right, on
you know,
that,
yeah.
right. Are you gonna put a bypass in there too, so you can?
With our system, if it runs through our pipes, it's gotta go through a meter. There'd be no bypassing,
Okay.
you know, that's why we went to this extreme of getting all these. And again, if you're bypassing it,
It's only a bypass if you need to work on the meter at some point in time. We can bypass.
you can do that, but then it's gotta go through another meter.
At some point, right, yeah, yeah.
Yes, somewhere, yes,
Right, right.
I
It
misunderstood,
will,
yes.
right.
Yeah, because I mean, that's when last week I was looking at Green Canyon, like when we start doing that, is we can shut this valve down and it will bypass and go into the
Another-
next
right,
section.
right,
Yeah,
that's fine.
sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay, all right.
Yep,
I need to go back
Yep.
to a question. I asked to have a picture of that. Does that picture have on it where the new meters are going? Does it indicate on there anywhere that the meters are located?
I don't remember it being, I didn't look,
Yeah.
you know.
If not, I just shot an email to Steve with where I was informed that they are going. But
Oh.
we haven't updated it like on that schematic that you sent, for
Sure.
instance.
Yeah,
But we can do that.
But
Eventually.
I did
you'll
send
get
it.
on
yeah, eventually, because
You'll
like.
get on the
Yeah.
SCADA eventually.
Yeah. And like I said, we have so many tags with this Simply SCADA system. Like I said, you know, we're gonna try to do the PRVs, and and it was already in the packet. I can't remember how many, do you remember, Mayor? I don't know how many 3,000 tags, or, so we can put stuff, I mean, it would be the word, it would be an encyclopedia on that piece of paper, you know.
You wouldn't have time to read it.
No, you know, so,
There it
It's
is.
gotta work operationally, but also informationally.
and that's why, I mean, like I said, we're building it ourselves, so then we know instead of taking it from somebody else that's miles away, you know, that we might not be able to get to, you know, to call if we have an issue, you know. And that's how, as like I said, they give us a toolbox full of tools and give us a blank screen, and we say, well, we want this here, we want this here, we want this here for our readout, and that's how they do it. So that's why, again, when we first contacted them, Sophisticated says it's your system. We're just here to help you get it built, you know.
Looks
And then
pretty
once it's
good.
built, you can take off with it, you know. Yep.
Okay. Dave, would you like to discuss asset management? And then we'll go back
Thank you.
and
Zach, thank you a million.
Sir,
Thank you.
Yeah.
let's have a wonderful evening.
You too.
thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, so at the
Wish I had
last meeting, we talked about CIPs. And I told you that I would contact some of the folks that I work with in Arizona about their CIPs, and so I did. And I sent you, I don't know if you sent it out to the rest of the people, rest of the
No,
folks,
not
yeah. So I talked to a buddy of mine that I've known for many years. He's the assistant city manager for the city of Buckeye. And he shared with me, of course, it's on their website, so he shared with me where I could go on their website to get it, their capital improvement program. And this is a city of 120,000 that's gonna be 500,000 someday. So they're way out on the west side of Phoenix, and they can find a water supply, they're gonna be growing like crazy. Their challenge is finding all the water. So, but anyway, so, you know, they have a capital improvement program that covers much more than just water, because they're a growing city, I mean, big time. And so it covers all kinds of capital projects within the city. I mean, buildings, parks, schools, I mean, all kinds of things that they've got to take into consideration as they grow. So I looked at just the capital improvement program for the water system. And, you know, it's a city that, like I say, is gonna be building more wells, gonna be building municipal water treatment plants, potable water treatment plants. It's gonna be building wastewater treatment plants, and all kinds of pipes throughout the entire system over the next 50, 60, 70 years. And so they've got a very robust system, a robust program, and I mean, it's huge. When I look at Star Valley, I don't see that. So I talked to another friend of mine who works for the city of Goodyear, which is right next to the city of Buckeye, growing a little bit, but not growing as much as the city of Goodyear, or city of Buckeye. And she recommended that for the size of the town we have a defined service area, although we could annex that property and add a little bit. And we have what, a couple thousand, 3,000 at the most connections?
About 2,100.
Long-term, I mean, we're at our build-out, that rather than having a CIP for the water system, that we just have a robust asset management program. And so she sent me information on that, which I passed on to you as well. And, you know, because from a capital standpoint, large capital investments that the town's gonna make over the years are gonna be probably one, maybe another well or two, if that. Maybe another storage tank or a replacement tank, but that's probably it. We're not gonna be building a potable water treatment plant. We're not gonna be building a wastewater treatment plant. We are going to add new pipes and things like that, but those aren't really large capital. I mean, there's not gonna be a new huge water main coming in. We're not gonna be taking water out of the Snake River, you know, and piping it up here. We have our water supply. In Arizona, they do that all the time. I mean, they're thinking about big projects. And so I don't know that a capital improvement program for water the system is the answer. But a good asset management program where you're keeping track of all of your equipment, the longevity of that equipment, and planning the replacement of all that equipment over time.
Mhm.
Those are the types of things that I think the town needs to look at as planning for its water system, making sure they have enough money in the reserve to do all the replacements. Obviously, we might need a new well down the road, so you gotta plan for that too, potentially. And the storage tanks, those are the things that I think are gonna be the big ticket items for us. So I sent you the information on that. I don't know what's happening with respect to the inventory of all of our assets here in the water system, and also what is the plan for an asset management program within the town relative to the water system.
The engineer provided us with, all of the pieces of the system and when they were installed and where they were installed. I mean, we have a file of every street and what was installed in that street. And so Wade has put that all into a spreadsheet.
Do we know what the lifespan of each one of those pieces of equipment were?
That we're going to have to,
Talk to the manufacturer, we're gonna get
Develop.
that information, right?
and, but I talked to Wade and he said maybe we should start with like the top 20% of these items. Some of the big ticket items, and try to get them organized into an asset management program and then work our way down.
Are we assuming that asset manager will also have a maintenance element to it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be my recommendation. Let's look at the high maintenance, and you can help us with that. Take the high maintenance things first.
All of our big pump motors and everything should be on some type of maintenance program.
They
It's
should,
that second level,
absolutely.
but the valve, it bothers me with the valves.
Valve turning?
Yeah, they drove that into me every class I went, is the first time that thing freezes is not during an emergency.
Yeah.
But that's when it does,
Yeah.
so you gotta make sure you exercise it. And that kind of, that and the fire hydrants,
Well,
exercise, no,
I think
so,
the maintenance aspect could probably go into iWorks. Once it's
Yeah.
set
Yes.
up,
Mhm.
it
well, that
sends out a
was my
work
next
order to
question.
go,
is
Yeah.
to go.
how much is that
do it.
gonna be duplicate? Is there a duplicate between iWorks and what you're talking
Well,
about?
there ought to
Or
be a
is it-
link
Or
between
is it
them.
the same?
Oh,
When they say
I don't know. I don't know what Wade is planning to do relative to the inventory of all his
You-
data
you-
and how the asset management program works. I mean, I don't know what the plan is.
See, that's where I came up last night, I was reading, it says inventory. Well, there's two kinds of inventories. There's the replacement inventory that you have in your stock, and then there's an inventory you have in the ground.
Right, the stuff
And
that's
is
in
he doing the in-ground and,
Everything
We
that,
need to do
so,
both.
so if he's doing both, the data's there then, it
yeah,
should
the
be.
data's there.
It's just a matter of what do we attach to it, and how do we prioritize it?
Yeah, I think the maintenance part, iWorks can probably handle. It's the lifespan and replacement
And budgeting for that.
and
for that.
budgeting.
That's gonna be the important part. 'cause
And
it's gonna-
scheduling.
That's
Right.
gonna go into your rates eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why we're doing it, so we have a kind of a view into the future of
So
what
can
kind of money
Wade
we're
come,
gonna
can
need.
Wade come meet with the board and share with us the information that he's collected?
sure he
and
will.
How he's planning on, I mean, isn't this something that Zach should be overseeing in terms of the overall management of the water system? I mean, what's Wade versus Zach? Where does Wade fit in versus Zach?
Wade's finance.
Wade's finance, he probably doesn't know a lot about what he put in
Okay, that's
into
fine.
the software.
So there needs to be a discussion, it seems to me, between Wade and Zach, or Wade and some water person of some sort.
Well, if we
I mean, don't they
could
have
look at
this-
Facilitate, it would be
What do
nice
they
for
use
us to hear.
up in the Jackson area?
So we use a program called Asset Essentials, and then I personally go through and we've gone through and we are prioritizing, but we have a CIP because we have pipe in the ground from
Yeah, you have bigger
1950.
stuff.
We have steel pipe, we have cast iron, we have stuff that needs replaced. So we have full street projects that we're working on. We have pump stations that need replaced.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's I'm working on, we didn't have a large pump motor maintenance plan either. We had 2 pumps go down last year. And to me, that was completely unacceptable.
Right.
You know, I've lost 1 pump at my last plants in the last 12 years, and I lost 2 in 1 year.
So if we don't get a
That
maintenance
tells me
program, we're
the
gonna be
maintenance
losing.
hasn't been doing,
Right.
it hasn't been done.
What did you say that program was you used in Jackson?
Asset Essentials, it sounds a lot like iWorks, so
Yeah.
it's just an
There
asset
could be
management
a
plan.
module in iWorks that does the asset management, I don't know.
Yeah.
It could, you could have it.
If you read their brochure, you can read into that if you want to, but that doesn't say they have it. you know.
Right, right. But then if they do have a module, then that would work well with the rest of the.
Yeah,
Mayor, that might be something that you could look out for us, and that is the next time the iWorks people show up,
Yeah.
invite maybe 1 or 2 of us, or invite them to our meeting and let us go through, because I think just them telling us what they can do would make a big difference in
Yeah.
our decisions
Yeah.
and recommendations.
Okay. We can do that.
Well, I think first we'll get Wade to,
Yeah, see what we
Show us
do.
the
Tell us what he's doing.
See
Yes.
what he's
I'd
got.
Show
like to
us
know as
the
well.
well, I
information.
don't think he's doing anything with it right now. He's got it in his spreadsheet and
It's there.
he's waiting for us
Well,
to,
he can show us the spreadsheets.
yeah.
Maybe just send it to us if it's not
Is he,
overwhelming.
who is Wade? Does Wade work for the
Oh,
town?
he's a
He's
council.
a councilman.
Or is it council?
Yeah, Wade Bitter. He, in his private life, which he just retired from, was a
CDA.
chief
Oh, I think I met
financial
Wade. I
officer.
met
You
Wade
probably met him.
golfing.
Yeah, and
met
probably,
Wade.
yes, he's a big golfer.
Yeah.
So since he got on the council, essentially he took my council seat when I became mayor, so he's been on the
Right,
council
okay,
last
I
year.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and he's been invaluable to us, helping us with the budget and just making, a lot of good updates for how we do finances. And apparently he's gotten involved in quite a few things, some of which I am not aware.
Oh,
We'll find it out.
So, but we will rectify that, and if we need to get him to the next water board meeting so he can go over what he's doing
Just share
and
with
where
us.
he's at, that
Yeah.
would be
Mhm.
probably good for everyone,
Including the mayor. huh?
including the mayor, yes.
You'll learn some stuff in this, John,
yes.
you know that?
I try to go to as many board meetings as possible. All right, I can do that. I got a
well, and
note.
we ought to look in iWorks and see if they've got an asset management module.
And I made a note about that too, so
Yeah.
see if I can get
And
some
if
answers
not,
there for you.
then maybe look at your system.
Yep.
So, okay. I mean, I don't know, the other things that the town is planning for its future large projects, I just don't know. If they're all water related, or if they're beyond water.
I mean, from my horizon, they're primarily water related, with the only other one being, to pave more roads, chip seal more roads.
Roads
Yeah,
is a big
roads
deal.
and water.
Right. And
Surprise.
and the association is doing this park thing,
Yes,
so the town doesn't have to do the park,
no,
since the association is doing that aspect of it, I mean.
yeah, and the association has all the private recreational area,
Right, right.
anyway, except for Fox Run Park,
Right,
so, which
so,
we
I
maintain.
mean, the town's not planning on trying to develop a public school here, or a public library, or,
We've had one, haven't you seen
About
that?
yeah, I've seen it downstairs, yes.
Yeah, about the only other thing, again, but we don't know where this would go. We've talked about a public works sort of auxiliary annex that's maybe somewhere more on the northern end of town to help with efficiency, so you could have some plows and, equipment that isn't driving all the way from
Oh,
Fox
okay.
Run Park to the
So,
northern
yeah.
end. But we have no land to put that on, it's just sort of a nice idea that we haven't come
Okay.
up with
There's
how
a
to
couple of
execute.
Yeah,
dead
'cause you have
end
a
roads,
long-
so if you
long
can get
narrow
property at the
town.
end of the
Yes.
dead end road,
Right,
Yeah.
that'd be the way to do it.
Yeah, the town does own, a residential lot that's in Platt. It's at the end of North Forest Road, kind of where the Wickle easement is over there, which the town purchased because there was a lot of the town road going through the lot, and so we worked it out to purchase it, but it's still zoned single family, and we had toyed around with, could we put an annex of some sort there, but it's really not in a very good spot,
And
and,
it's in a hole.
yeah,
I mean,
so.
you want your snowplows
So
coming
is
out,
the-
going down
is
this
the-
way.
the property that wants to be annexed, can they reserve a spot for you for your little,
It's, you know,
Because it's on the, so,
It
it's on
is,
the,
it's-
it's in a good spot for
it
it.
is, and, I mean, there's this, where is it? Which is not part of that potential annexation. This bit of it right here where the storage units are,
Okay,
to me, that's a great spot, but it's not part of the
okay.
proposed annexation. But if it were to proceed, then we would probably be doing some sort of phased, you know, subdivision development agreements with the developer.
Right.
So could be a possibility. I
Part
don't,
of
currently,
it.
that's not part of his plan, but
anyway,
everything's
okay.
up to negotiation, I would say.
Right. Okay.
So
It's water and roads.
on that subdivision, are they requesting that we put in the infrastructure?
No, that would all be, and I was gonna bring that up when we got to your other items of importance, but
Yeah.
we can talk about it a little bit now. So, I think it's actually in our ordinances that any infrastructure development has to be borne by the developer.
Yes.
And so we would have that, you know, in any annexation agreement or subsequent subdivision development agreements. Also, right now, the town administrator and town engineer are working on the annexation report so we can quantify, you know, costs and any other aspect. There's some things statutorily we have to answer, but one of the things with the costs, and also impact fees, there's another word we use for that in our infrastructure, or in our ordinances. What is that? It's the
I'm
same.
thinking,
Plant availability fee.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like this board to look at those,
Yeah, that
once
would
the
be for
engineer
water.
finishes writing everything up, which he's getting close. But that was the topic I wanted to bring up, was to have the water utility board review those costs. And some of them are in the fee schedule. I confess that it looks like we lost the, not service availability fee, the one I just said, plan investment fee. Used to be an ordinance, and then, you know, a couple of years ago, the council took all the fees out of ordinance and does them by resolution. And the plant
Plant
investment fee, gosh, it's late. It's been a long day. Did not get added to the fee schedule, so we need to fix that.
and that is a really old rate too.
Yes, it was $8,000, I want to say, at the
Well,
time.
I don't remember what it was, but it was
Yeah,
under 10.
and Ryan's working, our engineer's working on calculating what it ought to be based on where we are with the water system
Yeah.
today, so.
Yeah, because it was intended to be a buy-in.
Right,
Right,
yes.
sure, that's how you want it to be.
And,
So they would pay and we would, and the town would construct the water system up there?
At a minimum, we would have our town engineer
Oversee
approve
it?
and
Oversee
oversee
it.
everything, yes.
Make sure it's like.
Exactly,
Yeah, okay.
right. And part of what he's writing up currently in his assessment will show things like where we might have to put another PRV or
Right,
where we
sure,
would expect their
sure.
infrastructure to tie in. And, you know, they do have the well over there. There's a couple issues with the well now, but that could become part of the town's infrastructure because it would be conveyed to the town as part of any
Right.
annexation ultimately. So, but yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. with it.
focus on the revenue side of that, Mayor.
Oh,
Of
I
course.
spent all weekend looking at that.
I mean,
I
that's
really
just
did.
unbelievable, because we don't get any money. In Wyoming, counties get property tax is their main revenue.
Uh-huh.
In towns, it's almost, 80% at least is sales tax. And you don't increase sales tax?
You don't get,
It's
you don't
just-
get property tax?
We
Well, we
get
do,
property
but it's a peanut.
Well, it's not so much anymore. I
It's
mean, you're
couple.
correct, sales and use tax is our largest revenue tax, but with the property values and everything that have gone up here, we get a
But
good
they-
amount of property.
But vacant
tax.
lots versus
Mhm.
Yeah.
people
Well,
living,
Sure.
because you get your share of the
But
state.
there's not a lot of sales tax in.
Well, no, all sales taxes goes into the state,
Right.
and then it's distributed
Distributed
back
out.
out by county population.
Yes,
Redistributed to towns by population.
Right.
So when you're sitting here and you assume all the expenses, and your revenue is
I know.
a fourplex,
Right. I know.
that's the only reason I think.
well, and then I think too, the way the state does it, they base it on the last federal census, so
Yes,
if we annex
Yeah,
them tomorrow, nothing's changing until
Until
2030
2030.
or 31, right?
unless you have an in with the treasurer.
Do you know the treasurer? No, I'm just kidding.
Boy, do you want to take a few minutes and talk about what you want people to do with your priority list.
Well, Mayor, have you seen our priority list?
I have, yes.
Deal. Have you looked at it?
I did. I did not, I did look at
She
it.
hasn't
quickly. I
memorized
haven't
it.
looked at it, yes, I
No,
have
no,
not.
but I mean, you've
put it to
perused.
memory yet.
Is that of any value
I think so, yes.
to you and your council?
I think so. I was actually looking at it before the meeting, again, going over it quickly, it made me think about, these are the types of things that should be in, our manuals that deal with our water system and how we operate it and how we maintain it. And so I feel like it was a sort of a good template of things.
The reason we started working on this is trying to get just what you just said, priorities. Why are we working on the last priority and nobody's even focusing on the priority? So that's the reason. I'm glad you said what you said, because now I can say what I want to say. Because unless it's of value to the council, then we shouldn't be doing it. But what I put together, Lee and I put together, we started out with, what should you know, how do you run a public utility water system? And then that led us to another guy that said, here's my important things on it. And then we started really looking into it and trying to come up with everything we looked at, 80% of it was the same. No matter who wrote it, whether it was an engineer or a town or a public utility officer, I know 80% of it was the same. And so we said, well, if it's all the same, let's just put it in a priority sequence. And then if we can put that into a document and hand it to you all, so that you have the ability, I'm not saying you have to follow it,
Right.
but if you're not following it, you ought to know why. Somebody ought to say, this is priority 7, but we gotta get it here because the pump's smoking.
Or something.
That kind of stuff. So, with that, what all Lee and I did was put everything that we could find together. And we try to get it under those 5 headings. I don't know if there's 7 headings or 3 headings, but 5 is what we came up with, because the last thing we looked at was a priority list, and it had 5 headings, so we just put everything under those 5 headings. So I guess what we're looking at is input from the board as to, these are things, you agree with it or you don't agree with it. If you agree with it, you didn't read it very far. If you disagree with it, we'd like to know and why, so we can put this thing together with some thought behind it. Because it won't be our data, it'll be our arrangement of the data. Does that make sense? We are going to put this together the way we think it said we should.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So we are only the administrators of this, not the creators of it. But I do need input from the board as to, I think we ought to decide, are the priorities correct? Are they in the right order as of today? Because as we learn more, we may want to change something.
Well,
But there are only 5 priorities.
And I don't know that we have to reinvent the wheel. There may be, like, again, I'll talk to my friends down in Arizona. I mean,
If they've got something like this.
right, they may have a customer service operations manual, a maintenance manual, all these types of things that they already have done, that
Good.
we can just take and pick and
Please,
choose from.
no, let's,
They just don't have any water.
We have the what's your water for?
oh, we'd get everything if we do that.
Oh, they would love to come to the Snake River Basin for the Colorado Basin, I can tell you that.
But well, if you can get that for us, Dave.
So I'm going down there next week for some work, and I will talk to some folks down there about that.
Okay,
Kind of
great.
stuff, yeah.
That'd be great.
But at least we got something to argue about.
I
I like priority 1, you like priority 3. That's the way it should be though.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there with something that we both are looking at to argue about. Or to debate, whatever you like to call it. I like to argue. But if you do that for us, that would be great.
I will ask them, yeah.
And take a look at it from your kind of stuff.
Yep.
And just send me a note and just say,
Yep.
here's a couple of things I would add, or don't worry about that. That's-
Change or.
Yeah, anything. Because this is Lee and I's perception, and we've spent a lot of time, but not that much time that we're not willing to change anything and everything.
Flexible.
No, I'm not flexible.
You're entrenched.
I told you, I want to debate, I want to argue. Anyway, that's all I got for
Okay,
today.
thank you.
But if we could have something by next week, then you can tell us what you found out, and then we can kind of maybe go from there with this.
Okay.
Okay, I think the last item on the agenda we'll put off till next time. And we have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mayor, thank you very much for attending.
Hey, you
Yeah.
bet, thank you.
You are,
I learned
She's
a lot.